Welcome back. To discuss the outcome and achievements of President Xi's trip, let's turn to John Quelch. He's the professor at Miami Herbert Business School. Dr. John Quelch, thank you very much for joining us. Now, the US admin said they need to make sure this relationship is about competition rather than conflict. What does that mean exactly, and how can both sides ensure that happens?
I think Secretary of State Blinken put it very well around about a year and a half ago, as a matter of fact, when he talked in terms of cooperation being the first priority, competition when appropriate and necessary, and speaking honestly, but perhaps not in a confrontational manner when there's disagreements. So the communication flow has been restored. It's very good news that following the visits of Secretary of State Blinken and Secretary of the Treasury Yellen and the Commerce Secretary and the Special Envoy on Energy, following all of that effort over the last 6 or 7 months, President Xi Jinping was able to come and enjoy a very profitable and productive visit in San Francisco.
There has been very positive dialogue between the two sides and their delegations. How can they both seize the momentum here now and make the most of the progress that's been made?
So clearly, with the COP28 summit coming up soon in the Middle East, the fact that China and the United States are back in partnership with each other to make climate change a key issue and to collaborate in terms of how to deal with it on a global scale, that's a very important step forward. And then, of course, we had the restoration of military-to-military communications, which was a great source of concern to many, the fact that they were not taking place. And then thirdly, I think, to highlight another point, the agreement by the Chinese to curtail the supply of ingredients to the fentanyl factories in Mexico. This is very important for President Biden in particular, because heading into an election year in 2024, the fentanyl issue is a big issue, and it's linked with the reputation of China. Many families in the United States have been touched by loved ones who've been lost to fentanyl, and as a result, that third item is a pretty critical one for the relationship over the next year.
You mentioned COP28. Climate collaboration is certainly the strength and always has been between the two sides. We have the Sunnylands Agreement, and now there's a working group between both China and the US to collaborate and try and achieve these climate goals ahead of COP28. Now this, as you mentioned, will be a big boost to reach a global agreement. How much hope is there pinning on the two biggest emitters in the world to get there?
So I think before this most recent agreement, frankly, very few people had any hope that there would be anything substantive coming out of COP28. Now, with China and the US on side, and I have to give credit to former Secretary of John Kerry, former presidential candidate and the special envoy of President Biden on energy, and also his Chinese counterpart as well. Their work behind the scenes over the last year and a half has been very fruitful in facilitating this rapprochement on the effort to fight climate change. So I'm very positive that there will be significant progress at COP28, much greater than had previously been expected.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Professor John Quelch, really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, thank you.